It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, what's happening in San Diego? Welcome in to another sprint version of Gwynn and Chris. About 100 meters, and we'll be done and out of here. Getting you set for Padre baseball. Sam Levitt's pregame show is coming up at the bottom of this hour. Once again, Padres will be taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know a lot of people, I got to get right into it. Scraby's back.
Hey!
But I'm not going to mess around with too much of that stuff. I'm kind of over him, and I've moved on. He's been gone so long, I forgot all about him. But I know a lot of people, it seemed like a lot of people were really frustrated with this rain situation last night.
Yes.
Least of all, or most of all, poor Sam Levitt, who ended up doing about 9 hours on the radio last night.
Yeah.
And, first of all, I want to just throw this out there to our boss, Adam Klug. If there's a 13-hour rain delay again, I live no more than 5 minutes from the station.
Do you realize what you're doing right now?
I don't mind. I'll come in and help Sam Levitt out. He helps me out all the time.
That's very true.
So I'm more than happy to help Sam. And I'm thinking maybe Adam or somebody figured, well, Chris knows it's a rain out, so he should, check in. Chris doesn't know it's a rain out. If you know Chris doesn't watch any sporting events live.
I got a few messages about why you would be angry with me about something.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
We'll get to all of that. You're interrupting me. I'm in the middle of this story.
Sorry.
This is something I did not miss while you were gone. I could tell a story and it would go through unimpeded. But no, I mean, I watch games on tape delay. You know that. Or, VDR, DVD, DVR, whatever. And so I didn't know the game was, a 3-hour rain delay until like 9:30 last night when I turned on the game to watch the DVR. Or I would have probably helped Sam. I felt bad for him that he ended up sitting here for so long. And I know people were like, well, I mean, the Pirates, first of all, the Pirates ought to answer to this. I mean, the rain basically would have only prevented the game from being played for about, 45 minutes to an hour, Sam told me?
Yeah, they were
but it was
set
because
to
of
get
the flooding.
Started again.
It was because of the flooding. I mean, have your field ready. And what are the Pirates are sitting out there going, well, it just rained too hard. What do you live in Pittsburgh? Be prepared for these kinds of things. It rains like that a lot, I'm sure. Anyway, so the Padres, I think a lot of their fans were like, well, this is bad luck, right? It cost us Dylan Cease.
See, that's the biggest part is that I fully believe that if Paul Skeens was on the mound for the Pirates, they're not starting that game.
Oh, they would have never restarted the game.
They would have never started it to begin with.
They never would have started the beginning.
Yes.
Well, look, it cost the Padres Dylan Cease. It did not cost the Pirates. I mean, Bailey Falter is an okay starter, but the trade was certainly in favor of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
But allow me to say this. If you want to mess with a game in which your bullpen competes against the Padres bullpen, guess what? You're going to get your butt handed to you, probably 6-0, just like it was handed to you. Padres relievers last night, 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts.
It's ridiculous.
They just mowed them down.
Yeah.
It was a mismatch. It was a complete, utter mismatch. And the Pirates bullpen, sorry, you're not going to keep up with the Padres bullpen. So, as it was, you lose Cease. You just got to, take your medicine a little bit and just let your bullpen dominate. I mean, the Padres bullpen right now is just, it's beyond legit. And the Pirates found that out last night. So thank you very much to the idiots in Pittsburgh who, A, started the game or, in the wake of that, B, couldn't figure out how to get the water off the field. I don't know how tough that assignment was for these guys, but it took them an extra hour and a half to get the water to where you could play this game. I just thought it was – I thought this, the Pirates ought to answer. The National League ought to look into a little bit of what the hell was going on here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Bob Scanlon had a great report last night about what happened in the outfield, and they say that the rain came too fast and it was washing away the dirt and it clogged up the drainage pipe that drains the back end of the field.
Well, then get a new drain pipe. For heaven's sakes, this is Major League Baseball.
A new drain pipe.
This isn't Claremont High School, where it rains for an hour and they can't resume the game. This is a Major League facility, and it looked like it wasn't ready for the major leagues last night. But you know what? I don't care.
They won
right now. I don't care because the Padres could beat anybody anywhere under any conditions right now. And the reason that the Padres can beat anybody anywhere under any conditions is because somebody out of nowhere wins the game every time. I mean, if you go back to the weekend against the Rockies, and look, couldn't figure out the riddle that was the Rockies until Martin Perez came in and shut them down.
Yeah,
on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, the hero, David Peralta, takes a home run away, hits a 3-run homer. Last night's hero, Donovan Solano, 4 for 5, 4 RBIs. You know his batting average right now, if he had enough at-bats, would lead the National League. He's hitting .314. Nobody in the who qualifies has a higher average than that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Donovan Solano's been unbelievable. I know that there are people that will never like A.J. Preller, even if he's riding down, Pacific Coast Highway, holding the trophy in a parade. They'll still blame him for everything that's gone wrong with the Padre franchise for the last 10 years. So I'm not speaking to those people because I'm not going to change your mind. But he's having an incredible season, A.J. Preller is. Everything he has touched has turned to gold.
He's pushed all the right buttons.
Dylan Cease, Luis Ariz, David Peralta, Donovan Solano, now Martin Perez. Perez's story has not been written yet, but
he did his
off
job
to a
so
pretty
far.
good start. It's just been one thing after another. And last night, just for fun, Ha-Seong Kim has to sit out a game. So they find Tyler Wade. I don't even know how they located this guy. He hasn't seen the light of day in like a month. And they dust him off.
Is that your dusting sound?
Yes, that was my dusting sound. They shove him into the lineup. He goes 2 for 3 and knocks in the first run of the game. I mean, the Padres are golden right now. Absolutely nothing can go wrong. And let's keep it that way. They've won 12 out of 15 for the second time in the last month and a half. So twice they've gone 12-3. I will point out in the form of fairness, the last time they went 12-3, they followed it by going 1-6. So let's make sure that doesn't happen again. But you got Michael King going tonight. As long as he's back healthy. You got Musgrove hopefully looking like he's coming back this weekend against Miami. Fernando has got to be chomping at the bit. He's got to be wanting to get in on some of this. This is the great moments of the San Diego Padres. It's happening without him right now. You get him back in there. Campusano's got 2 hits, and if he doesn't play, then Higashioka hits 2 homers. The Padres have 20 home runs from their catcher position. 20.
I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me.
No, Higashioka's got 13. Campusano's got 7. There's nobody in baseball with 20 home runs from their catcher position.
How many does Higashioka have now?
He's got 13.
That's crazy.
The only catcher in the National League that has more home runs than Higashioka is Will Smith, and Will Smith has 200 more at-bats than Higashioka has.
Wow.
This has been an incredible season. I know that Juan Soto is, sold out Broadway, and I know that they love him and he loves them, and he probably couldn't be happier to be out of America's finest city. But I say good riddance. Have a good time. I don't miss him at all. The Padres would not be even close in my mind to where they are without the guys they got in that trade.
Yeah.
And don't forget that Dylan Cease was one of the pieces that they essentially got because they used Drew Thorpe to get him.
Yep.
So you put Cease on this team, you put Vasquez on this team, you put King on this team, and you put Higashioka on this team, and you tell me that Juan Soto would have meant more than that.
I can't.
I don't think you can.
Not from what we saw from him here.
No, the one that played here wasn't anywhere near as good as those 4 guys have been.
This is a well balanced team. It's not top heavy. It's not because last year, remember we were talking about too many superstars, not enough support players.
Well, none of the support players did anything.
Well, because they weren't
good enough. This year, all of the support players do something.
Yes.
I mean, there isn't a game that doesn't go by. Bryce Johnson last night, you can say what you want. The game opens with him making a circus catch down in the right field corner to keep McCutchen from getting a triple and getting the Pirates off to a good start. It's just been everywhere, and it's been really fun, and you just kind of got to hope it keeps up. Now, as far as tonight's concerned, if you believe that this team cannot win without Ha-Seong Kim, then maybe you have a little concern. He's sitting out for the 2nd game in a row. Tyler Wade will be in at shortstop. I imagine Mike Schilt will talk about that in the pregame, and I imagine that Sam Levitt will bring you the latest on Ha-Seong Kim. But he's
on the phone right now, so I'm assuming that this is what he's
getting
doing.
The latest right now.
I see him walking up and down the hallway on the phone. So.
That's Sammy, but look, he's got a something in his upper tricep area.
Yes,
I think it's from diving for a ground ball last week. It's what I remember.
It's not the worst thing to give him a little bit of a break.
It's not the worst thing, and the Padres right now, they can overcome it. If Ha-Seong Kim went out for, let's say, a month, and I'm not saying he's going to, but
that
if
would
he
be
did,
different.
It wouldn't.
I think it would.
I don't think it would. You just move Cronenworth to shortstop. You'd put Arise on first base, and Solano would go back to DH. I wouldn't miss Ha-Seong Kim hardly at all.
I don't know why this is stuck in my head, but R.J. Anderson said when we asked him about trading Ha-Seong Kim, he said he would get a lot of looks because he's one of the best defensive shortstops in the league.
But he's not. Ask anybody who's followed the team all year.
I was about to say, yes, he is, and then I remembered an error from the other day.
He's made a lot. He has not played anywhere near as good defensively this year as he did last year. It hasn't even been a contest. So, look, Ha-Seong Kim is a valuable member of this squad. What I'm saying is if they were to lose him for a while, this team is easily prepared to pick up the slack as of right now. And look, they've been picking up the slack without Fernando. They've been picking up the slack without Darvish and Musgrove, and they're sailing along. They're 10 games over 500. And that is a wonderful thing indeed. Now, real quick, the Diamondbacks aren't doing them any favors today. Diamondbacks already beat Cleveland 7-3. Diamondbacks are winning the 2nd game of that doubleheader in Cleveland 4-1. So, assuming that all holds up, Padres would need to win to keep pace with the Diamondbacks. But on the other side of it, the Dodgers have to deal with the Phillies again tonight. And dare I say that by night's end, the Padres could be 3 games out of first place. It's possible.
I had to make it louder.
Make it really loud for that. 3 games is possible by night's end if the Padres win again and the Dodgers lose.
Hey, I seem to remember saying months ago that the division isn't. I said the Dodgers aren't as good as we think, and the division's not out of reach.
Yeah, you say a lot of dumb things, and every now and again one of them comes true.
But
and
that
then
one's a good one.
And then you boast about how brilliant you were.
That one's a good one. And I boast about how stupid I was, too.
What we need to do is catalog all of the dumb things you say.
Who wants to help with that?
Because 90% of them don't come anywhere near being true. But you might be right on this one. The Dodgers are coming back to the pack. And, you look at the 2 teams and the magic, I call it magic because I don't really have a better explanation for why everything seems to go the Padres' way these days. But the opposite is happening to the Dodgers. I mean, they get Gratterall back after he misses the entire season with an injury.
Yeah.
He throws 8 pitches. And now he's out for the year again.
Him and Kodai Senga.
So, he's not on the Dodgers. So, again, try to keep with the theme of what I'm talking about before you jump all over the place. All right. White Sox are winning again today. Break them up.
I got to give the guy in Chicago radio credit yesterday because they were talking about them losing 21 in a row, and then he goes, tonight's the night. Ross Stripling is starting.
Yes,
tonight's
I
the
bet
night.
he said that 21 days in a row.
I didn't hear it. I swear. I listened to the same show. But he
said it 21 days in a row.
He goes, I haven't felt good about this team for all year, but tonight they're gonna win, and they did.
All right. The other big news last night was Framber Valdez being denied by Corey Seager.
Corey.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Seager hit a home run and that denied Valdez of a no-hitter. Second time in his career that Corey Seager has broken up a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Not many guys can say that.
That is a good stat.
And I thought the other one is Valdez became the first pitcher since Roy Halladay in 1998. So this didn't happen in 26 years to be within 1 out of a no-hitter and lose it on a home run. Halladay lost it on a home run in 1998 to a guy named Bobby Higginson, who was a nice little fourth outfielder back in the day. So
nice little fourth outfielder.
Yeah, he was, he wasn't an all-star or anything, but, he had himself a nice little career, mostly with Detroit. All right, we're underway. Gwynn and Chris. Tony's on vacation, by the way. We should mention that.
Yes, he is.
Scraby has been on vacation. When we come back, we'll find out what he was doing in Chicago and in Iowa.
Yeah.
And Dubuque.
Dubuque.
I can't believe you found things to do in Dubuque for 5-6 days.
Oh, I have a fantastic fact for you about Dubuque.
We'll have that for you when we come back to, already wrap up the show on 97.3 The Fan.
Need
right, quick one for you today, Crisello. Tony Gwynn Jr. on vacay. Matt Scraby, if you are dying for a bunch of Gwynn and Chris, tomorrow is your day. Unless there's another rain delay tomorrow. We will be on right after the game tomorrow, right after Sam's postgame show. So there's a good chance we'll be on for like 5 hours tomorrow. So we are going to have an extended program for you tomorrow. So make sure you tune in after Padre Baseball. Tonight, Padre Baseball is coming your way with Sam Levitt's pregame show in about 17 minutes. Padres will go after another series win. This could be their 6th consecutive series win. That is music to the ears of the roller coaster averse Mike Schilt. Before we get back to the Padres and Scraby's little vacation to Dubuque, Iowa, I must say the one thing that I find interesting about the Olympics, a lot of things, but here's one of the things I do find interesting. You end up checking in on events you haven't seen in 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? You don't watch not you, but most people don't watch a bunch of gymnastics.
Yeah.
Most people don't watch even a bunch of track and field, but you don't watch any of the other stuff. Like, when's the last time you turned on a table tennis match?
Never.
Right. You're not in on the equestrian channel.
Why am I watching indoor men's volleyball?
Right.
I don't know why.
You just don't watch that, but every 4 years you watch it, and you're into it. One of the things that happens is that sometimes in that 4-year span, the athletes in the sport just get way better. And you notice it. And here's the sport I noticed it in the other night.
Okay.
Synchronized swimming.
Oh.
They used to just kind of stick their arm out of the pool and put it in a bunch of different directions, turn upside down, flip their feet a little bit.
Now, I think they did a little bit more than that. But
you know what I mean? They didn't do that much. They did a few things. Now they're throwing people out of the water.
They're moonwalking underwater.
They're doing handstands. It's incredible. The synchronized swimming, my God, credit to all of you synchronized swimmers out there.
I was just watching
really pushing the envelope on that sport. I was
have no idea how
hardly
they
recognized
do it.
it.
How in the world they do that?
Yes, they're not allowed to touch the bottom of the pool, right?
No, and they all do it at the same synchronized.
It's synchronized swimming, thus the name of the event.
How do they get the timing of it? Also, the moonwalk that was underwater the other day.
Really good. Really good.
How do you even do that?
Synchronized swimming. I mean, I always thought kind of silly. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to admit I'm watching it. Now I'm like, no, this is really good.
Mostly I watch what they put in front of me. So
I do too.
Like, I was locked in on the the Swedish high jumper or the pole vaulter who set the world record
from LSU.
Yeah, from LSU.
He's from Louisiana.
I know.
He only competes for the Swedish team because they let his parents be his coach.
Ah.
Yeah. The Sweden, his mom had some ties to Sweden.
I didn't know that,
from her Olympic days.
I figured.
So he asked Sweden, I'll compete for you instead of the U.S., but I want my parents to be my coach. Sweden said, okay.
They're like, yeah,
so
sure.
now he's Swedish, even though he's hardly Swedish at all.
No, that's the thing is I saw him do an interview and I'm like, he's got like a southern twang.
He's from Louisiana,
which I don't really mind, but he's obviously good enough that he could make the American team. It's not like he wasn't good enough.
Right,
he
could make any team. Yeah. He's the world record holder.
But I was locked in on that. I was locked in on shot put the other day.
Yeah, well, my wife and I stayed up till about 1:30 last night trying to figure out who won the walk race.
That's also incredible.
You like that?
No, it's not incredible. I don't like it, but it's like, how do they do it? What are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing, but I noticed one guy was cheating. They pulled him right out of the race.
They did.
Yes, if you I believe, I'm not a veteran walker, race walker.
You sure?
But I believe you have to have at least contact with the ground at all times to keep you from running.
Okay.
So you can walk as fast as you can, but you have to keep something touching the ground.
So it could be 1 foot or both feet?
A heel or a toe.
Both feet or 1 foot?
No, 1 foot. But just a heel or a toe has to be touching the ground at all times. And I think this guy was cheating. He was trying to catch up. They yanked him right off the course.
Wow.
But do you think, this was brought up by somebody the other day, do you think it's fair that the guy who wins, say, the decathlon, and he's the greatest athlete in the world, should get the same piece of metal that a guy who wins the walk race gets?
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes. Why would it change?
I don't know.
You're like you just
Seems
said.
like one guy's the best athlete in the world. The other guy can walk.
But you are competing against the best
walk.
walkers
You can walk.
in the road.
Adam can walk.
I walk the dogs every day. Wouldn't be able to beat this guy for the gold medal.
I know you wouldn't, but if you worked on it.
I don't think even if I worked on it. I don't think these are things that I think this is why the Olympics is great, because the person who wins the table tennis tournament gets a gold medal, just like the guy who wins 12 medals in swimming.
The guy who can walk fast, he'll end up with the same thing as LeBron James when it's all said and done.
See, I think the team sports like that should get something lesser. Because
they should maybe get one medal and divide it up.
Yeah, sure. Just like cut it into like 12 pieces or whatever. Because
you don't think everybody should get one?
They're a team sport. Like the walker is by himself.
All right. All right, now we're being a little
I don't think
ludicrous
so.
at this
Jacob
point.
has a great one. I saw speed climbing yesterday.
Speed climbing? I haven't seen that
That was
yet.
incredible. This woman flew up the wall faster than she looked like Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
Just going up the wall, just crawling up the wall.
Are you impressed that I knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker?
I was actually.
You didn't expect that, did you?
I was actually.
United States women, by the way, did win today. 88-74. There, I just saved you from having to watch that tonight on replay. They win their 58th in a row.
That's messed up.
58th in a row.
What if someone was waiting for
All right,
that?
Scrape, we got 5 minutes. Give us a rundown of your trip to Dubuque, Iowa, and beyond. I will tell you in advance that I did speak about you yesterday.
Oh, gosh.
And you and I now have one thing in common.
What's that?
We have both in our lives been to one game at Wrigley Field.
Oh, okay.
And both of us saw the Cubs shut out.
Oh, yes, we did.
And I think that's really disappointing because I was like, I want to see them celebrate once.
Yeah,
and they didn't score, and then you got the same thing.
Yeah, well, first off, we went the first night. We had to stay in Chicago, and then we drove out the next day. But we went to Giordano's, and I've thought of you the entire time. And I got to say, in person at Giordano's, delicious. Like, really good.
I know.
I don't know about the stuff out here, but
Did
in
you
Chicago,
order?
Oh, I left it
before
to my dad. He was all about it.
No, but if I recall Giordano's, you order while you're waiting.
See, we had a reservation, and I didn't realize, because we wanted to move up a reservation, this place was so busy that a reservation was like gold. And so we didn't get a chance to order. So we just sat there and watched
sat down and then ordered when you sat down? And
it took an hour. It took an hour.
Yeah, it takes an hour to make the pizza.
Yes.
So a lot of times when you go to Giordano's, if you're waiting, they just take your order so that when you sit down, your dinner will basically be ready.
Yeah. So we drive out to Dubuque, Iowa for the family reunion. It was cool.
How far is Dubuque from Chicago?
It's a 3.5-hour drive.
Okay. Everybody should probably make it once in their lives.
No, not necessarily. I mean,
do you think it's any prettier than the drive I made from Carmel to Big Sur? Probably not.
Probably not. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, the Midwest vibe kind of fits me a little bit.
Okay.
Let's just move along and mosey along.
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. Anyway, I listen to a lot of sports talk. Sports talk out there. The Bears are the talk of the town. No one cares about baseball. They even said it on the air. And they're saying that Caleb Williams is going to save this team, and they're going to be 12-5. Chris and I discussed a lot of this on our impromptu podcast that we did before the show with more vacation talk. We also addressed the person on Twitter who called out Tony Gwynn Sr., and we talked about that whole thing, saying that he wasn't
I can't believe that some idiot
Hall of Famer.
I can't believe some idiot went on Twitter in this town and basically
It wasn't. I don't think it was.
well,
this
wherever
town.
they're from.
Yeah.
Because we can see it right on Twitter.
Oh yeah. So Tony Gwynn Jr.
You're
had to reply.
You're going to go on Twitter and you're going to tell me that Tony Gwynn is the most overrated member of the Hall of Fame. He's the most overrated person in the Hall of Fame that everybody agrees should be
That's
there.
what it was. So Tony Gwynn Jr. responded, which I thought he had a really nice response. I'll put up that impromptu podcast after the show. You can go to
we'll
Gwynn
have.
Chris podcast
you can
page.
download our podcast. We talk about all that stuff. Since
So
we didn't
I'll
have
get
time
to
talk about it today.
I'll get to the good stuff. Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I went 2 hours early. Was walking around. I had a great time. The one thing that really stood out to me was how small this stadium was.
Yeah.
The
Only
walkways
holds
are
about
tiny.
38,000, right?
Yeah, the wall, the ivy walls were cool. We had really good seats. We got to do the whole seventh inning stretch thing. And the Cubs fans were pretty nice to everyone around us, and I had a great time at this game. It was really nice to get to see Wrigley because I've never done it before. And it's also fun when you get to see their mid-inning games. And I thought they had a lot of mid-inning games that were kind of fun that the Padres maybe need to steal. Like they had
they had some fun stuff.
They
that
put up
you
like
liked.
stats on the board. And
Okay.
said whose stats are these for the game or what type of pitch this was. And so they would show video of a pitch and then they would give you, like, is this a changeup or a fastball? I thought that was kind of fun. The Cubs stunk and everybody around us didn't care because they already knew they stunk.
They're used to it.
Yeah, and that was the end of the trip, and that was great. On the way back, there was a baby on the plane that cried the entire way home, all 4 hours. I will say
That's a Scraby thing.
the parents did do as much as they could to get this child.
So you didn't hold the parents responsible.
I didn't
for
hold
that.
the parents responsible for that,
Good.
but it was a really fun trip. I haven't seen these people in a while. Oh, my mighty Mississippi story. So there was in the 1700s when the British were coming down the Mississippi River. I know.
Don't forget that we got a pregame show coming up.
The guys were coming down the British were coming down the Mississippi River. In Dubuque, Iowa, they had this little place where they saw this. 2 guys in canoes in the 1700s rowed all the way down to St. Louis, 400 miles away, warned them that the British were coming. They defeated the British, and that is why the British don't control the Mississippi River to this day, Chris. They canoed 400 miles downstream.
A couple of guys from Dubuque saved the country from certain doom.
From certain doom.
So we owe it to Dubuque.
Yeah.
All right, more of this conversation tomorrow, probably at great length, because we have 5 hours tomorrow. We'll be on after Padre Baseball. Enjoy the game coming up next for Tony and Scraby, Chris Ello, and Sam Levitt's pregame show coming right up after Gwynn and Chris.
Bye.